When a woman is crazy about you, her nervous system betrays her first, especially in the first 2 seconds. The way she says hi to you is not innocent. And if you don't understand what it means, you might miss the moment she's already chosen you in her heart. Most men think attraction starts with compliments, flirting, or physical touch. But psychology says it begins much earlier in micro moments, in tone, in pauses, in the way someone says your name. And when a woman is truly crazy about you, her greeting changes before her words ever do. You've experienced it before, even if you didn't recognize it. The air shifts. Her voice softens. There's a spark almost electric in those first 2 seconds. That isn't random. That's dopamine meeting anticipation. That's attachment theory quietly activating beneath the surface. When a woman feels emotionally drawn to you, her nervous system reacts before her logic catches up. Her body reveals what her pride tries to hide. Picture this. You walk into a room. She sees you before you see her. Her posture straightens slightly. Her eyes light up almost involuntarily. When she says your name, it stretches just a little longer than necessary. Not dramatic, not obvious, but intentional. Subconscious signals are rarely loud. They are subtle and powerful. Why does this happen? Because attraction activates reward circuitry in the brain. When she associates you with emotional excitement, her brain releases dopamine in anticipation. Not even because you did something extraordinary, but because your presence itself has become a reward. That's when greeting you feels different. You might hear it in the softness, or in the sudden nervous laugh, or in the way she pretends to be casual, but her eyes betray her. And here's where it becomes intense. If a woman greets you with heightened energy slightly brighter than she greets others, that's not politeness. That's selective enthusiasm. Human beings conserve emotional energy. We don't light up for everyone. We light up for people who matter. But sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes she greets you softly, almost shyly. Her tone drops. Her eye contact lingers, then disappears. That's not indifference. That can be emotional overwhelm. When attraction feels strong, especially if she has anxious attachment tendencies, her body may shift into vulnerability mode. She becomes quieter, not because she doesn't care, but because she cares too much. Attachment theory explains this beautifully. If she leans anxious, she fears rejection, so her greeting may carry tension. A careful smile, a hopeful pause. She's subconsciously scanning your response for validation. Did you smile back? Did you sound warm? Did you say her name with the same energy? That micro-exchange determines her mood for the next hour. Now imagine another scenario. You haven't spoken much lately. There's distance. Maybe tension. But when she finally sees you, her greeting is slightly too eager. Slightly too fast. Hey! How have you been? The question feels loaded. That's emotional withdrawal meeting craving. She's been replaying your absence in her head. Her nervous system hasn't forgotten you. When someone is crazy about you, silence hurts them more than they admit. So when contact resumes, their greeting carries relief. Relief sounds different. It has breath in it. And then there's the playful greeting. The teasing, oh, look who decided to show up. That light sarcasm? That's not dismissal. That's investment hidden behind pride. When someone teases you specifically, not everyone, just you, it often signals comfort and attraction intertwined. It's a subconscious way to create intimacy without exposing vulnerability. But here's the darker layer. Sometimes when a woman is deeply attached, her greeting carries emotional intensity that feels almost disproportionate. She may react strongly if you don't respond warmly enough. Her mood might shift if your tone feels neutral. That's not drama for no reason. That can be trauma bonding or unresolved attachment wounds being triggered. When someone with abandonment fears likes you, your greeting becomes emotional proof of safety. If you sound distracted, her mind spirals. Did I do something wrong? Is he losing interest? In seconds, her brain can travel from hope to fear. That's how powerful greetings are. You might think it's just a word. It's not. It's reassurance. It's validation. It's a signal of belonging. Watch for eye dilation. Yes, this is biological. When we see someone we're attracted to, pupils expand slightly. You won't measure it consciously, but you'll feel it. Her gaze will seem deeper, longer, charged. Watch for proximity. Does she close the physical distance when greeting you? Does she lean slightly in? Our bodies move toward what we desire. Even half a step forward reveals subconscious pull. And here's something most people ignore: the tone shift. Compare how she greets a friend versus how she greets you. If there's a softness, warmth, or subtle excitement unique to you, that's selective emotional investment. But sometimes the sign is even more intense. If she greets you and immediately asks a personal question not surface level, but something about your day, your mood, your sleep, that's attachment forming. Curiosity is a form of emotional claiming. She wants access to your internal world. Because when a woman is crazy about you, she doesn't just want to see you. She wants to feel connected to your inner state. And here's the part that stings. If she ever greets you differently after you've pulled away, that change tells you everything. Emotional withdrawal is loud in silence. If her greeting becomes cold, flat, or overly formal, that might not mean she stopped caring. It might mean she's protecting herself. People don't suddenly become neutral. They become guarded. There's a moment, a very specific one, when she says your name quietly. Not loudly across the room. Not casually, but almost intimately. That's when attraction has moved from curiosity to emotional involvement. Your name in her mouth carries weight. Have you ever noticed how some greetings feel like they carry history? Even if your story together is short, that's because emotional memory attaches quickly when dopamine and oxytocin are involved. Shared laughter, eye contact, tension, all of it builds neural association. So when she greets you, her brain replays those moments in milliseconds. And if she's crazy about you, her greeting becomes layered. It carries longing, anticipation, a question she hasn't asked yet. But here's the psychological twist. Sometimes the strongest sign is inconsistency. If her greeting energy fluctuates dramatically depending on your behavior, that means she's emotionally invested. Indifference is stable. Attachment is reactive. If she didn't care, your presence wouldn't affect her tone. Let's go deeper. Imagine she sees you after a stressful day. She's tired. She's irritated with others. But when you walk in, there's a micro reset. Her face softens. That's emotional prioritization. You've become a source of comfort in her subconscious hierarchy. The brain doesn't fake relief, and sometimes she won't even realize she's doing it. That's the most dangerous kind of attraction, the unconscious one. When she greets you and her breathing changes slightly, when she mirrors your tone without thinking, when she laughs a little too quickly at something, you say those are signs her nervous system is synchronizing with yours. This is called limbic resonance. Two emotional systems subtly aligning. That alignment feels intoxicating. But be careful. Intensity doesn't always mean healthy. If her greeting carries desperation, urgency, or emotional dependency, if she seems anxious, when you don't respond immediately, that can signal anxious attachment patterns forming quickly. And that's where things can become addictive. For both of you. Because when someone greets you like you are the highlight of their day, your ego feels validated. Your brain releases dopamine too. You start craving that reaction. That's how emotional loops form. That's how trauma bonds can begin, not with chaos, but with intensity. You begin to measure your worth through her reaction. She begins to measure her safety through your tone. And suddenly, a simple hey becomes loaded with meaning. Now ask yourself something uncomfortable. Do you respond with the same energy she gives you? Or do you pull back slightly to maintain control? Many people, especially those with avoidant tendencies, subconsciously downplay their greeting when they sense someone is too emotionally invested. It's a defense mechanism. Distance feels safer than vulnerability. If she's crazy about you, she'll notice that shift instantly. Because when someone is emotionally attached, they read micro changes like survival signals. And if you ever see disappointment flicker across her face when your greeting feels flat, that's not ego. That's emotional risk being exposed. But here's the most powerful sign of all. If she greets you as if she's been waiting, even when she hasn't, that anticipation reveals longing. Longing is attachment deepening. Longing means you occupy mental space when you're not physically present. You become a thought she replays. You become the person she hopes to see when she enters a room. And when that happens, her greeting isn't just a word. It's a confession without saying, I want you. But remember this, just because someone is crazy about you doesn't mean they will say it clearly. Pride, fear of rejection, past betrayal, all of these build emotional armor. So her greeting becomes the safest place for her feelings to leak out. Watch the eyes. Listen to the tone. Notice the pause after she says your name. Feel the energy shift in the room, because attraction whispers before it speaks. And if you felt that electric moment when she says hey and it hits differently, you're not imagining it. Your nervous system recognizes when someone's world tilts slightly toward you. The real question is, what will you do with that power? Will you nurture it gently? Or will you test it? Will you offer consistency and emotional safety? Or will you play with the tension for validation? Because how you respond to her greeting determines whether this becomes love, obsession, or heartbreak. And maybe the reason this feels intense, right? Now is because you've experienced both sides. Maybe you've been the one whose greeting changed when you were secretly crazy about someone. Maybe you felt that ache when they didn't mirror your energy. That's the human condition. We all want to be chosen. So next time she greets you, don't just hear the word. Decode the emotion behind it. Attraction is rarely loud. It's layered, subtle, psychological. And if you want to understand the hidden truths of love, attachment, desire, and the silent signals people send when they're afraid to admit how deeply they feel, stay here. Subscribe to Heart Psychology, because the next time someone says hi, you'll know whether it's politeness or a heart quietly losing control.